So this reading in this video is about what happens when we have more than one type of atom making up a substance, or what happens when we have two atoms of the same substance that are joined together. So most of you are probably familiar with this water molecule. Most of you have probably seen this before. And this is basically an oxygen atom that has a hydrogen atom that has two hydrogen atoms bonded to it or connected to it. But in science we say bonded. And so this is a special type of particle because the two hydrogen atoms are bonded to this oxygen atom and they don't want to let go. And the oxygen atom doesn't want to let them go. So this particle kind of stays all together like a fundamental building block of substances, the same way that an atom, like a single atom, would be like a fundamental building block of a pure substance. Like if you had pure gold and you had all the atoms in making up the gold bar would be pure gold. Well, if you have water, water is a substance where all of the particles making up water look like this. And that's not one atom, that's three atoms bonded together, connected together, bonded together to make this particle, which we call a molecule. Okay, so let's read this. Let's read this paragraph. So this reading's about what is a compound, what is a molecule. These are your guiding questions as we read. So let me get a color here. All right. So in nature, many elements do not occur alone. They easily combine with other elements to form substances called compounds. So let's just circle this word compounds. This is a key word. It's an important word, compounds. And let's just also circle substances. And let's circle this in red. Okay? So, a compound is created when two or more different elements, keyword there being different elements, join together. And what we're actually talking about here is two or more different atoms. Two or more atoms of different elements, okay? Two or more atoms of different elements join together. So let's just pause for a minute and let me go get your green marker and let's make sure we have all this marked correctly. So what are substances and ultimately what are compounds? Okay, well, compounds are substances. Substances are matter. Compounds are substances where elements have joined together to create a different kind of a particle. So here's our understanding right here. A compound is created when two or more different elements join together actually to form a different type of particle. And this particle that they form is called a molecule. Okay. So go back and get red. And let's just get molecule circled in red also. Mr. Woods, we've got red and green. Yes. Because molecule helps us, the term molecule, the keyword molecule helps us understand what a compound is. But a molecule is, so let's just get this whole thing underlined in red. This is kind of important. We're actually going to come back and underline this whole thing in blue too. In fact, let's just go get the blue marker right now. and underline it in blue. So this is a main important idea. The smallest particle of a compound is a molecule. Okay? So a molecule is made up of two or more unlike atoms that are linked together. We want to get that in, we're actually going to underline that in blue and green. So go ahead and put your blue line under here, leave a little space for the green line above it. Or you can underline with the green line below the blue line. It doesn't matter. Go back up and get that green marker. And let's get this double. These are really, really, really important statements. These are important understandings that are going to help us get a good sense of what's going on with compounds and what's going on with molecules. Okay, so water is an example of a very important compound on Earth. Water molecules are made up of two atoms of the element hydrogen. So let me get different colors so you can see that. Let's just go with red. So we have two atoms of the element hydrogen and one atom of the element oxygen. Calcium carbonate is another example of another compound. It is the ingredient used in antacids. A molecule of calcium carbonate is made up of one atom of the element calcium and one atom of the element carbon and three atoms of the element oxygen. And we can take a look at that. So let's just pause for a minute. Let me just pause for a minute. And why don't you go ahead and mark this, if you haven't marked everything, just go ahead and mark it. So here you see a molecule of calcium carbonate with a calcium atom, a carbon atom in here, and then three oxygen atoms that are actually attached to the carbon atom, and of course the carbon atom attached to the calcium atom. So this is, if we had calcium carbonate, this substance, it's actually a powder. One of the forms is it's a powder. Actually, it's limestone. There are some other ways that we understand it, but if we had some of this powder, this particle, this molecule, or this particle, would be the smallest particle that would be making up that substance. Okay, so we have molecules that are kind of like atoms in that an atom makes up is the smallest particle that makes up a pure substance, like gold, if it's pure gold, whereas a molecule is the smallest particle that makes up a substance that we call a compound. And a compound being a substance that's made up of atoms of more than one element, two or more elements. So let's think about this for a minute. We're gonna pause, and I want you to maybe you could sketch these two molecules, the oxygen molecule and the calcium carbonate molecule, and label them like you see that I've labeled them. And we've pretty much marked this paragraph, and we can put some, we probably should take our blue and just catch a couple of ideas down here. So water molecules are made up of two atoms of the element hydrogen joined with one atom of the element oxygen. And then, you can just put a star by calcium. You don't have to underline all of that. But, you might want to take a moment and sketch these. I think you should sketch these molecules into your notes, label them. This would be water, and this would be calcium carbonate. If you want to just kind of link from down here, you can underline calcium carbonate, and you could just draw a link line up here to this sketch and link it to that sketch right there, so that we can see, you have a picture of these molecules. Okay, so molecules are the smallest particles of compounds, substances that are compounds. We call those compounds. And molecules are made up of two or more atoms. Okay, now when a molecule is making up a compound, those molecules will have two or more atoms, but those atoms will be of different substances too. And I'm going to pause this, and actually I'll start another video because this one's getting a little long, and I'm going to want to go to this picture right here, and we'll talk about this picture right here in the next video. So molecules and compounds, which is which, and we'll talk about these. Okay, so go ahead and sketch these guys right here, and then we'll come back and I'll start another video and we'll talk about that other slide right there. Alrighty.